back again. As you know, spring break is next week, and so I thought I'd just show you a celebration cake, and you may be able to do it today or tonight, or you can do it, maybe you haven't got time to watch it until next week. And if you get kind of bored, you can pick up the video and learn how to make a celebration cake. And if you get done and it's all colored and beautiful, send me a picture of it. I would love to see it. Okay, so first of all, just take a piece of old paper. We're going to draw on a paper. I'm going to draw on a whiteboard, but you're just going to draw on a paper. All right, fold it in half. And the reason we're folding in half is that it gives you an idea of what is straight. Sometimes we run off for a paper, or sometimes we've got our cake so lopsided it'll fall over. And as you know, if you've ever watched Mommy bake a cake, in order to be pretty, it has to stand up straight. Otherwise, it's going to look kind of sloppish. I spent a lot of years decorating cakes, so I've had some horrible experiences happen with cakes that just didn't work out very well. So in order to make our cake nice today, let's go ahead and let's fold our paper. I'm going to start at the bottom, 3 fingers from the bottom. I'm going to show you though on my whiteboard. Let me move my tulips out of the way there. Here we go. Okay. So there's my 3 fingers at the bottom. Okay. And I'm going to put a little mark right there on the fold. Okay. So you can put a little mark right there. And that lets me know this is the middle of my paper. So there's a little tiny mark. That's what you're going to put. Just a little tiny pencil mark to kind of let you know. We're going to draw, first of all, just a line going from this side to this side. And this is going to be our cake platter. When I was decorating cakes, I would have to find a platter that was big enough for the cake to be on. Well, it's fine, you know, if you're just making a cake for your family, but if you're making a wedding cake or an anniversary cake and it's going to be big, you're going to have a big piece of cardboard or a big plate to put it on. So we want to be sure that our plate is big enough for our cake. We're going to draw a straight line from this side to this side. We're going to draw it as straight as we can. And let me see if I can do that. And remember, this is going to be our cake platter. It looks just like that, kind of like that. Okay, you're going to stop over here so you don't run off your paper. And it's about 3 fingers up like that. That's the bottom of our platter. All right, and then we're going to draw the pedestal. Remember where my center was? Okay, or where your center is, it's right there on your fold. That's called a pedestal. Now my pedestal is not all that good, but your pedestal is probably going to look really good. So draw the pedestal any way, any shape you want. It's got to have a little foot at the bottom so that it can stand and hold up the weight of the cake, because the cake's going to be a 3-layer cake, and 3-layer cakes are heavy. So you want to be sure you have a good enough stand with a good enough foot so that your cake doesn't fall over. Wouldn't that be a horrible mess? Oh. So there we go. There's my pedestal. And now I'm going to make the rest of my platter. I'm just going to make a round circle right here. Let me show you. And this is where our cake is going to sit. Like that. Okay. So now we have our platter, and we'll decorate it later. Then I want you to take your finger, okay, and because I have a little bit bigger paper than yours, I can make mine a little bit taller, but about from your knuckle up, so from about here to the top of your fingernail. That's about how tall I want the layers to be. Now, our cake layers can't be clear off the platter, or that'd be horrible. So we have to be sure that our layers are in. So I'm going to make 2 little marks. Two lines like that. And that's going to make our bottom layer of our cake. All right. Then I'm going to connect the 2 lines. I bet you already figured that out, huh? Okay. So there's our 2 lines. And you don't have to worry about making them perfectly straight. Remember, it is a cake. you know. And even though a cake is maybe beautiful to look at, eventually it's going to get eaten and it won't make any difference how your lines are. So make it the best you can. And then I'm going to put some dribbles. Have you seen those frostings that dribble? It's because, well, I think because they add a lot of milk or a lot of cream to make it so it's wetter. And so instead of staying on the cake, it actually dribbles down the side. So that's kind of a cute look. So let's make some dribbles down the side. I can see if I can do it this way. Okay. So these are my cake dribbles here for my frosting. It's got a lot of cream in it. There we go. There's some nice cake dribbles. Perfect. How's yours looking? All right, there's layer number 1. So for layer number 2, we're going to make it just an oomph taller. Not much, but just an oomph taller. And remember, it's going to be smaller than than this layer. So this is how it's going to look. Let me draw my 2 lines, just a little bit taller, not much. And we're going to connect those 2 lines. Whoops. There we go, like that. Okay. And we're going to do a little bit of dribbling this time, but we're going to kind of keep it sensible dribbling. So let me show you what I mean. It's kind of like a ruffle. Like that. Can you see that? All right. And because this is we want to put a chocolate layer in here, I'm going to draw across the center here, just in a straight line. I'm going to draw a line and then 2 lines, and that's going to be our chocolate center. So let me show you what I mean. There's my 1 line, and there's my 2 lines. So now I have chocolate in my cake, and what's a cake without chocolate? That's what I say. All right. All right, we're ready for our next layer, because this is a 3-layer cake. And the next one's going to be taller than our last one. Okay, so let's go. Remember, he's going to be a little bit smaller in width. And we're going to connect it at the top like that. And this is going to be the drippiest, this is the drippiest part of all. So we're going to do the same as we did down here, but we're going to make it longer, narrower and longer drips. So let's see if I can do that. Okay, we'll start there. Ooh, there, oh yeah, oh that's fun. Oh yeah, ooh, not so long. Oh, very long. Oh, this is fun. Look at all that dripping frosting. Whoa, okay. Shoo, that looks like a lot of goopy frosting. Do you like frosting on your cake? Yeah, me too. So there's our pretty frosting. And because this is a celebration cake, even if it's not a birthday, we're going to celebrate the beginning of spring break. So we're going to draw some candles at the top. And the candles can be your own idea. I'm just going to show you, these are not fantastic candles or anything, but you can draw as many candles as you want, as many as you have space for, or room for, or want. So I'm just going to draw a few there at the top. I'm going to kind of start in the middle, and I'm going to kind of draw my candles a little bit fat. You might want yours skinnier, but I'm going to draw my little fat candles. I think I'm going to try for 5. How about you? One thing about using a whiteboard is that if your hand goes on the board, you erase what you just drew. So you have to be very careful. Oh, let me see. Did that turn out? Pretty good. All right. Whoops, there we are. Can you see? All right. Then I'm going to draw a little line here. Doink. These are my wicks. And then I'm going to draw my flame on top. Just like a little teardrop. Yours may be a little bit pointier than mine. That might have been best, but mine look like that. All right. Now there is your basic cake. Now the decorations are up to you. Paige and I played with this last night, and we made some really crazy decorations. One of the decorations, we decided we wanted to put some candies on our cake. So we drew some circle candies over here like this, like almost like lollipops. And we started with a circle like that, and then we continued around and around and around. Now I can draw it without ruining it. Like that. So that's what we decided to draw. Can you see that? So we just started with a circle, and then we made around, 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 and we hooked it into our cake like that. We took our bottom platter and we put some ruffles on the bottom, kind of like scallops. There we are. There's some scallops on the bottom of our cake platter. We could do flowers on it. You could do butterflies on it. Anyway, there's all kinds of things. We did some little curlicues here. I can do some curlicues on this one. We were in the curlicue mood. Something like that. You could do a little simple flower. We gotta leave a little space over here. I'm gonna erase that, but you don't have to. I'm just gonna put a little circle for my flower and some flower petals. Flower like that. I might even need a flower down here. I'm gonna erase this a little bit so I can have room for my flower. There we go. I don't think that first one's very good, but you have an eraser. When you draw your cake, I think it's best if you don't just use a pencil. It's nice if you can use a crayon, if you can use, maybe not a Sharpie, because that's pretty bold, but a crayon or a pastel if you have it. Something that is a little more bold than just a pencil, but if you only have a pencil, that'll work too. All right. So you might think of some other things that you want to put on your cake. You could put confetti, and if I had colored markers here, I could, make my confetti look like, you've seen those sprinkles that look like that. So there's my sprinkles there. All right. And when your cake is all decorated, then it's time to color. And that's the most fun part of all. You can color in markers, but when you color in markers, you must remember that markers are best for coloring small areas, not for coloring large areas. So in this little part here, this cake piece, it would be best to color either in colored pencils or colored crayons. And crayons are brighter than pencils. So if you're going to use a lot of markers, you might want to be sure that you use crayons and markers, because colored pencils are going to be, I think, too light for your liking. So be sure that when you color big areas, you use a crayon or even a colored pencil. Those work best. And use your markers for your small spots. Like these are really good marker spots, these little flowers, or these little curlicues right here, or your little candy suckers or lollipops over on this side. Or if you want to add something, like you might color your candles in a marker and put polka dots on them or put stripes on them, and or the little ruffles here at the bottom, the little scallops. Maybe you want to make those in different colors, or maybe you want to make your frostings in different colors. I mean, the rest is just up to you. But isn't that a fun, cute cake? A way to say, hey, happy spring, it's spring break. And like I said, Paige and I were working on one last night. I didn't get finished, but I did want to show you what it looked like. So that, whoops, can you see it there? So that's how we kind of started, and we started to color. And I don't know if we had the best crayons or ever, whatever, but yours will be beautiful. So color all the beautiful spots and enjoy making a celebration cake, and happy spring break to you. Talk to you again. Bye-bye.